Welcome to Herf Zone Live, the show that is unlike any other cigar show, where we have the most eclectic lineup of guests, of which some smoke cigars and some who don't. Either way, we bring you the best content weekly. Herf Zone Live is sponsored by StogieLives.com. If you're looking for a social media site that's just for cigar smokers, look no further. Make sure you go check them out, www.StogieLives.com. And if you look down in the description, you'll see information about a fundraiser for the people of Jalapa, Nicaragua. I'm partnering with Stogie Press and Ace Prime Cigars, and you can find all the information there. See how you can get involved because Jalapa, Nicaragua is one of the top areas that produce tobacco, and we're trying to help the people there. So it's a noteworthy cause to get behind. So yes, everybody that's tuning in, I thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I hope your day was better than mine. Started off the day a little rough. It was an extremely busy day, but it definitely was a great day. And I'm just glad that I'm finally here to produce this show for you guys and all that good stuff. So, yeah, without further ado, waiting patiently in a Cigar Hustlers podcast green room, we have Chris Moore. He is the owner of Carolina Blue Cigars. I recently met him this past weekend, like 2 weekends ago now in Tampa. Yeah, 2 weekends ago now in Tampa. So, yeah, he's waiting patiently. We're going to go ahead and bring him on the show. What's going on, brother?
What's up? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm just so glad to finally be on the show here. So hopefully your day was well. And did you have a good time in Tampa when you were here in Florida?
Oh yeah, it was we did had a good time. A little short because I only came up on Saturday. I figured next time I'll come on a Thursday or Friday to make it a little bit more so I can relax a little more. So I was just on the go from the minute I got there. So,
Yeah.
but it was a
Uh,
good weekend. I had a lot of fun. It was a great atmosphere. So shitload of cigars. So yeah, very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I finally had a chance to, I bought some cigars and I liked them so much. I was trying to save a couple for the show, but I ended up smoking them because I was like, damn, these are good. But I just lit my cigar tonight with the Carolina Blue lighter. It's a beautiful lighter. So
Hmm.
awesomeness. I forgot who it was who was when I got the cigars, but he was asking what color I want. I was like, color don't matter. And then that's when he gave me the white one. I was like, all right, whatever.
That was probably Leo. Leo was probably there, I guess. It was Leo. I'm thinking it was
Yeah,
Leo. It had to be, yeah, it had to be Leo. I'm sure.
yeah. Yeah, I meet so many people. It's like I try to remember people's names immediately, but you know how it is being,
Yeah.
a public personality. So it's like you try, takes me a little bit, but I'll get to know. Of course, I learned your name very quickly because I gotta get this guy on the show. I like his cigar. So yeah, man, we're gonna just go ahead and get started here. So you're not just a boutique cigar maker, but prior to getting into the cigar business as we know you now, you had a background in tobacco with your family. You grew up growing tobacco and harvesting. Did that start your passion for tobacco, or was it something that you just kind of grew up doing?
Honestly, we're just making some summer money. We're just making summer money in North Carolina. That was kind of how we did it. You know, in the South, it was just me because I spent most of my life in New York, and then my grandmother and my father's family was from that area and the eastern side of North Carolina. So summertime's making some money. Then eventually we moved there, and it was part of the routine. If by that time I was a little older, so I was playing a lot of sports. So yeah, it was kind of in gardening and stuff like that was in our blood a little bit. We didn't really do tobacco. Of course, we worked for somebody else, but yeah, that's kind of how it started. I never thought I would end it that way, but hey, sometimes things in life go full circle.
Absolutely. Now, when did you actually start smoking cigars? Did smoking cigars become a passion right away, or was it just like a gradual thing?
No, I didn't really smoke any. I was an athlete in most of the, high school and part of college. And when I went into the military, that's when I really smoked. I smoked a few. I didn't really smoke again per se until probably 2006, when I was deployed in Iraq and Kuwait and all those places. And we would light up in the evenings, and just from some fellowship and camaraderie. After that, I dabbled a little bit on the golf course for the next 10 years or so. It wasn't nothing I was trying to do. Uh, then when I wind up going back to DR, playing in some golf tournaments, some family over there got me back into it. So it didn't take long to pick up. Once it's like riding a bicycle, if you understand the whole chemistry and the ins and outs of tobacco, it just picks up like any other business that you used to doing. So it took a little while. I took my time with it, trying to really decide if I was going to do it or not. It took me like a year to really get back into, smoking and getting the elements and understanding all the blends and seeing what people like, what they don't like. And that was a lot of me going into different stores, hanging out with people, seeing what they're talking about, smoking their cigars, handing off a few of mine, them not knowing that I was the actual owner of the company. And it was just more of a marketing thing for me. And eventually, like now, I smoke a lot. I, don't- you know, I could say I've toned down a lot of smoking cigars. I might smoke on average 3 times a week, if that. I smoke more on the weekends than I do during the week. Uh, 2 or 3 during, Saturday. I didn't even really get to smoke any while in Tampa. Started smoking, then I would talk to somebody, had to put it down, and I was tired as hell the whole time. I think the most I smoked was when I first arrived. We was outside sitting around bullshitting in front of the location where we were staying at, and I probably smoked more on that spot than I did the whole weekend. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know how it can be. People think working in a cigar shop, I'm just sitting around smoking cigars all day. I smoked like 2 cigars today. Like I smoked one and I was working on that most of the day. And then once I got all the orders put away and everything, then I had time to smoke another. And
mhm,
then, I finished that, right before it was time for me to leave. So, but yeah, it's not a race. It's about the
right,
enjoyment. You got to always remember it's about the enjoyment. So
right, exactly,
now, Carolina Blue, it's a veteran-owned company. You served in the military for 30 years, I believe. I do my
right.
research. So, under 5 presidents, what branch did you serve in? If you could tell us a little about what you did in the military and how serving set you up to eventually get into business for yourself.
Served in the army. Started out with infantry, went into maintenance, and then ended it and kind of into the finance industry on the admin side. Um, yeah, started out first president. What God was it? Reagan? Yeah, it was Reagan. Yeah, Reagan was the first. Clinton, the 2 Bushes, and Barack Obama. So that's 5. I got out right when. Did I get out right when Trump took office? Yeah, I got out right when Trump, February 2017. Did he take office then? Or was it the next year? I can't remember. Um, I can't remember, but I know I was getting out before he took office. Yeah, I actually got out because he served in 2018. So yeah, that was the 5 presidents. I think my just the things that I did in the military kind of made it easy for me to just adapt to running stuff because that's what I was doing the whole time I was there. Running, training soldiers in the schoolhouse and as an instructor, running finance divisions, running platoons, running, a whole freaking division as leadership there. Uh, just running areas over while I was deployed. So it just came natural, even though it's different, running a cigar business because you're more catering to the customers, but you're still
Yeah.
delivering as far as how you take care of your customers. So it's still kind of similarities in a sense, even when you're leading soldiers or people per se. You know, you can't please everybody. Everybody doesn't like your style, but it's not about that. It's about the product. It's not about me. But,
Hmm.
you know, I always say I can't please everyone, and it took me a while to really understand that I can't please everyone. And once I understand that, people who know me, and
Yeah.
you may
Yeah.
not to per se, I'm the kind of a fuck it. You know, like it. Oh well.
Yeah.
Next, you know, I have to keep that motto because that's the thing of you know, keep my stress level. I don't stress a lot. I'm easygoing, very direct. What I have to say, you know, my agenda is giving everybody a great product, whether you like it or not. You know, I use some of the best tobacco out there. Whether you believe it or not, the cigar speaks for itself. And I'm always trying to get something new developed, you know, be ahead of the game, so somewhat. So, you know, and I always try to give back, whether it be giving information or, you know, helping somebody start something else. So that's just my little approach to life and stuff. So,
Yeah, I tend to be like that too. I just be like, fuck it. Like, when I smoked the last cigar, I was like, fuck it. He'll understand it's a
right.
good cigar. So,
Hmm.
and you talked a little bit about this, but we're gonna delve more into it. So you start playing golf, you get into cigars more, and you get back into tobacco. Tell me about the early start of Carolina Blue Cigars. At this point, how long was it before you launched as a full-fledged brand, like as opposed to just making some cigars and like being like, not telling people this is, your brand, your cigar or whatever.
Right. It took me about a year. I wasn't I wasn't convinced for myself. If I'm not convinced, I'm one to just, you know, research and make sure it's the right thing. Because my mind was set on playing golf and maybe teaching and staying. At the time, I was playing on an amateur tour, and I was enjoying that. You know, I was enjoying the retired life. I said, well, you know what? I could go somewhere and teach golf, hang out at the golf club all day, and just play damn golf forever. You know, that was the plan. And sometimes, you know, the cigar business was thrown on my lap by accident. And a lot of times things happen that way. So it took me about a year, and a lot of times I would give them to people I was playing with that I know who smoked. Yeah, I just offered it. They didn't know it was mine until, you know, later on down the line, and then I would get kind of suggestions in the first batch that I had there. Um, Knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't have gave them some of them cigars. But you know, it's just a learning process, and that's what I always say about to all the companies that start. You know, I put the work in. I kind of I did put the work in to find out what was in, you know, cigars, what the blends were. Did I like them? You know, usually a lot of times, even like cooks, sometimes they would cook something and it's good to them, but when
Yeah.
you get out to your friends, like, what the hell is this? Or your friends will say, "Oh, it's good," and then they'll walk away. That shit's garbage. So that's what I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to do that. So I didn't give it to anybody that I personally knew personally. I
Yeah.
gave it to some people like randomly, just like here. Hey,
Yeah.
you need some smoke, and you know, some of them liked it, some of them didn't. Then as we improved the blends, you know, like, oh, these are really good. And then I went to store. I went to some of the brick and mortar owners that I knew in New York and some down here in the Carolinas, and they appreciated, you know, what I tried, what I was attempting to do. Um, and then we just kicked it off. You know, it was a long little road there for a while. I probably gave out 2, 3 thousand cigars, you know, at the time. I wouldn't say that much, probably 1,000 cigars. Just giving them out, you know, sending them here, and I didn't, you know, that's what at the time. You know, everybody knows you have to kind of give away things to get things back in return, and that's kind of how it started growing. And then, you know, and the one thing about I had is that I did have somebody, an actual factory, you know, that was producing cigars, and the owner would come and we would do events together, and that's how the reputation started growing from Carolina Blue. Um, Kasi Down Monte Crystal picked us up, you know, and that's kind of what kind of triggered the flag, like, hey, this is probably gonna get bigger than you think it's gonna get. So, and then, you know, I kind of slowed it down a little bit, kind of stopped production. look for another factory because of, the smaller one couldn't really handle the demand. Kind of started over again. I would say I
Yeah.
did start over again and hooked up with El Puente and uh and we've been pushing shit out like clockwork right now. It's this awesome cigars, awesome factory. A lot of stuff comes out of there what people don't know that comes out of there, but and that's fine. It's in time. It'll all show its evil head, and then are we trying to take over the world? Hell yeah, but we're trying to do it slowly. Got some things in the works with some people we're trying to work with. I'm excited about that. Um, you know, and that's all. I'm just taking it one day at a time, not trying to overwhelm. Just trying to give my customers outstanding experience. I think I really haven't had anybody complain about when they get a package from me or anything like that because we kind of over deliver on everything we do,
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about. Just doing that.
Nice. Now so you were saying the factory that you work with is El Fuente,
Hmm.
and that's in the Dominican, correct? Just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, we
Okay.
got Dominican Republic and also in Nicaragua as well. We handle some stuff out of there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but most of the stuff comes out of El Puente.
Okay.
Very known, very 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 well known factory. Very a lot of roots in that factory affiliations with Davidoff, and so we grow our own tobacco. Um, Grow 90% of this damn tobacco we have. Of course, everybody gets have to buy some wrappers here and there and get some stuff that you don't grow, but for the most part, we grow everything we have, and that makes it even better. Um, and it's just a great group of people. So I feel like a family. I feel like when I don't see them for a while, I kind of get homesick, and I'm over there often. So
Yeah.
I'll see them next week and I'll hang out with them for like 10, 12 days and just kind of relax. Don't have to worry about cigars because everybody kind of be on vacation at that time. So it'll be a good time
Yeah.
to just kind of chill out and not be going crazy making cigars all day.
Yeah. Now, so you go over there quite a bit and everything. So, and you do the blending, correct? Or you're the main one, or do you have like assistants? Or are you able to do it like by yourself?
Well, these cigars have been in existence now for since 2019. I guess that's when we kind of hooked up when everything comes out. So it took about 6 months or so for us to come out with it. The blends that I thought would be great for the market. Now, when something is kind of tweaked, I'll say, hey, I need this. How about let's try it this way? Let's add. I'm looking for something to do this. I'll go over and they have some stuff ready for me. Like, you know what? Let's change the wrapper to that. Let's see. Let's move this here, move this there. But Victor is the mastermind behind all of the blends for the most part. There's no way that I could be where I'm at without Victor. He trusts what I ask, what I say as far as the market is concerned. Caesar is also another person that understands cigar. He was there at Tampa as well. And we got Santos, there. That's an amazing blender in his own right. It's just so much, so many. We when I'm looking for something, we all gather together, and it's like, hey, what we got with this, and then we come up with something, and bow, there it is, voila. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's not, but for the
Yeah.
most part, it is a hit for the most part. And a lot of things that people may not understand. It may taste good that day or that week. It has a certain taste because it's fresh. It
Yeah.
might be nice and spicy or whatever. You bring it back and let it sit like a lot of cigars I have. Blends for probably 2 years in my humidor, and I'll take it out, and the taste is mellowed out from what it did before. So a lot of times, people don't realize that really don't do the work. What
Yeah.
you taste in the factory today may not be the same cigar in like next month because
Yeah.
it's mellowed out or it could be in a bad way, it could be in a good way. A lot of the cigars that I have are turned something really nice. I know one of the Nicaragua pearls that we have called the Fire Stick. That cigar turned to something totally different, but it's so good. It was uh, really like kind of peppery, before, and now it's turned into something like cocoa or chocolate, and it's so good. And because I don't really smoke my cigars a lot, so when it catches me by surprise, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize it was going to be this way. So aging is a good thing sometime, and I still have some of the cigars that I had when I first came out. That my first batch, they weren't really good. I smoked them probably 2 years ago, and I smoked one about 6 months ago, and it damn near tastes like a Cuban.
Oh wow.
Damn near tastes like a Cuban. Because Chico, excuse me, Dela Cruz, he's big, small guy, but he has some of the most amazing cigars you can ever imagine at the time. He still makes great cigars, and just these just aged into something different. I'm like, wow, this is like really fucking good. And then I found some old ones in Casa del Monte Cristo up in Raleigh. Like, do you realize how old these cigars are? It's like 6-year-old cigars. And I'm like, everybody's looking at me like I was crazy because they didn't know who the hell I was, but that's fine. I smoked those and they were amazing as well. And those were the first batches. So, now I know just from putting the cigars out that the best thing to do is try to get them out as quickly as possible, you know, because they're gonna mellow out. That little spice and floral notes and little pepper is gonna may not be there probably 8 months if they sit around. It'll probably
Yeah.
mellow out a little bit. So that's what most cigars anyway.
Yeah. See,
So
I love like spice and pepper and
mm,
cigars and all that. So, but also my flavor profile is like all over the place. It all depends on like my mood. So like whenever you're blending, do you blend to your personal profile and just hope that people like it, or do you just have a general idea what the people that smoke your stuff like, and you just try to blend to that profile
well,
to be
I
on par
blend
with that?
to because I smoke so much other stuff. I blend to do something different. Maybe a flavor. Maybe I'm looking for some sweetness and some spice at the same time, a different type of undertone. It just depends, on the type of vitola I'm looking at, which one I want to use it for. Yeah, I don't really do it on my taste. I kind of do it from what I hear from the customers, what they like, and that's how the buckshot came about. I kept hearing a lot of people say, "Hey, I want something full body." Once other strong, I'm like, okay. So it took us about, a lot of rotations to finally get that buckshot right. When we got the buckshot right, and some people got it, I'm particularly not a 60 fan myself, but
Yeah, same here.
it, yeah, it was a 60 by four, 60 by 4.5. When I first, smoked it, I didn't, we're still working. It was still in the working phase. But when we got the final product, it was like, damn, this shit is strong. It was strong, but I didn't want to put it down because I wanted to know how it, finished. Then as I smoked it, even though it was strong, I didn't want to put it down because it was good.
Yeah,
It was changing, and it was it was just a good cigar to be, and I still hand that out to people. That cigar you can only get from me online. None of the retail, well, one retailer has it. And they can't get it. Nobody else but from me or that one retailer. But yeah, that's a good cigar, especially for the wintertime. All we can say is get something to eat before you smoke it. It's pretty good. It's not like a full overpowering the hero cigar. It just has a lot of strength in it, some nice flavor to it. So it's not a full one, but it'll get you unexpectedly.
yeah,
And that's what I go for. Is I want people to enjoy the cigar. I want people to enjoy the tobacco. Because if I give you something strong, it probably burn out your palate, and then
yeah,
you're not gonna be able to smoke anymore. So that's
yeah,
something that I don't want to do. And like this one now, it's everybody enjoys this one. Everybody really enjoys the Habano, but everybody enjoys this one because it's so chocolatey and some pepper and some cocoa, and it's like a real easy cigar. And it's really something nice to end the night on if you want to smoke and just be relaxed with it. So
oh yeah. So you mentioned, you like to smoke some of everything. So like, what are your favorite cigar brands, or even you don't even have to say brand, just like whatever your favorite type
Yeah,
of tobaccos that some brands use.
I don't mind saying the brand. It's fine.
Yeah,
We all family. Yeah, we all family, so it really doesn't matter. Um, I'm a Warp fan. I'm a Dapper fan. Um, I'm a Aladino fan. Um, I'm a Christian Aurora fan. Because Honduran tobacco kind of have this weird taste to me, but
yeah.
theirs seem to not do that. Um, well, in the beginning, I smoked a lot of AJ stuff. I still smoke some. I don't smoke a lot. I smoke if it was a go-to. I'm always looking to see what work comes out with. Definitely Dapper what they come out with. And I smoke my fellow cigars as well. My fellow boutique cigars. Black Star Line. I smoke theirs. Smoke Spade cigars. I smoke Morales cigars. Just a bunch of us that I smoke, and that's it. I found some like I have some I have some stuff in my humidor. It's like it's been sitting there for a long time. Um, I have probably the original freaking Andalusian Bull that came out the first time. I got
Oh
that
wow.
in my humidor. It's been sitting in there. Uh, some old Padrones in there. I got the best cigar that I probably ever made. The only one that I'm trying to wait to work that on is the Morena Cigar. That's a Brazilian Aparaca cigar. That will yeah, that cigar is just undescribably good. When I first gave samples out, people was ordering 10 boxes on the spot. They're like, I gotta have this cigar. So
Mm,
it's like one of their top 5 cigars they ever smoked. I mean, and I'm not just saying that, this is what they say. I know it was a
yeah.
good cigar. We put it together. I could say my one uh friend Damon, we was over playing around with some blends with Chico, which was he was here at the time, and we kind of played around with some stuff. And matter of fact, in the backyard, he came and we just make we. That's what we used to do. We used to just make up cigars at cut light. That's what we used to do. That's the experience that I give people when we used to do cigar events. When he was there, we just make up a damn blend on the spot and just hand them out. Oh, what is this? We just made it. I don't know. So it was just crazy. It didn't have any kind of thought process. We just like, hey, let's try this, let's do this, blah blah blah, and it's found. We just gave it out, and that's how it was. And yeah, it's just so many things that I'm always thinking about something next. What's next? What's next? And that's why I have so many goddamn cigars. I
Yeah.
have cigars that'll probably never make the shelf. People like, this is not gonna make the shelf. I'm like, nah, you crazy. I'm like, it's just not gonna make the shelf.
I kind of
So,
equate that with being like an artist, like somebody who's like a rapper or any type of musician.
hmm
Really, you go in the studio and you record stuff. Like I used to rap back in the day, so I got stuff that I never even put out. It's just in my email, and I'll probably never. I'll show it to people because me and Jeffrey Amendola were at the Grand Cathedral. And he said he used to rap too, so I pulled out
what
what.
what you said? Jeff used to kick some bars too. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, so I
All
pulled
right.
out, my music, and of course I'm more like Southern inspired. Although I'm kind of lyrical, with it, but I could rap on any type of beat. But I pulled out a song where I was rapping on the DJ Khaled beat. I'm so hood.
We're gonna have to put you to the test
I
because
can't
I'm.
freestyle.
Oh, okay. You gotta
I'm
make it
I'm
up
I'm a
again.
good
You
writer,
gotta
but
write it. You gotta write it and then come. I get. Okay, I got
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm a
So
good
you.
writer. I was never a good freestyler. Like back in the day, like when I was in high school, this one dude from New York, Puerto Rican
Mm-hmm.
dude named Ricky, he used to beat on the soda
Mm-hmm.
machine, and I just used to, I used to just spit stuff that I already wrote, and everybody would. And some people did that. Some people could freestyle really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I get it. Yeah, that was kind of the era when I grew up in the Bronx. It was a lot of that. right at the start of hip hop, and then I moved to Queens, not too far from LL and all those guys. So pretty really familiar with all that. So
Yeah. Not
yeah,
now. Did you ever meet LL Cool J or any
I
of the
never
pioneers of hip
no,
hop?
I never met because my path was a little different. Before I went into the military, I was in the banking industry for a while, so I was getting my grind on there. But I went to some concerts with them. It was a lot of stuff in the park. We'd catch people. Matter of fact, nah, it was weird how all these people that was in my area when I first moved to Queens, um, not too far from LL. Then we moved to a different part of Queens. Then we was not too far from Nas,
Oh,
and like in the
nice.
same vicinity. So it was, then we was in the Bronx. Where the part that I was in the Bronx, it was really a kind of diverse neighborhood, but it was kind of the buildup of the Latino, Hispanic. Uh, the Hispanic, was coming. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans were there, so we did a lot of block parties and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was right up my neighborhood, which I liked because that's my thing. And yeah, it just I was around music all the time when I was young. I used to play the drums. I really wish I didn't stop doing that. I was heavy into that, but sports got me, and now I'm smoking cigars.
Hey, that's dope. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That cigars will bring people who may have used to do certain stuff. It just brings people together. It doesn't matter what your background is. That's what I
Right,
love. Like I gotta tell people I live and breathe this. Like it ain't, working at a shop. It ain't just a job for me. Even on the stressful days, like by the end of
right,
the
right.
day, I get over all the stressful shit and I'm good. But so yeah, so take us through each of your blends. I know you have a lot of them, but you have both Dominican and Nicaraguan blends. For someone new to your brand, which of the blends is a good introduction to your brand that a consumer should check out first?
Well, and like we do any side, if they were like beginner smokers, I would probably introduce them more on the Dominican side. Even though some of the Nicaraguans aren't bad, but I would probably start with the Dominican side. I don't have anything mild in my collection at all. Everything is medium to medium plus to almost full.
Yeah,
I
even that
would
Connecticut
say
I tried was, it was a nice medium. It was a good way to start the
right,
day.
right. For probably a beginner smoker, that would probably be something, that they've smoked a little bit. I would go probably to go with the Maduro, even though people run to that when it's because it's dark, they think it's strong, but it's on a strength level, it's probably my lowest. Well, the new blended one is probably not, but the previous one is. It's on a scale that's probably closer to a medium. As it goes up the scale, then again you got the Connecticut, then you have the actual Habano. Um, then from there, I would probably go with the Dominican Puro, which is all Dominican cigar. Very a lot of flavor to that, earthy, notes, very good. Then the top of the line to that is the actual Limitado, which is that's a cigar I can't even hold it for a day. It's always sold out. It's perfecto. Pretty much getting three cigars in one. We actually changed the wrapper on it. It actually has the Pennsylvania broadleaf on it now, like it was the original version. So we were able to get some Pennsylvania broadleaf. Then we go over to, and that is the signature series. So you get this five cigars in the signature series. I'm gonna probably change this. Well, I am gonna change the size on the Dominican Puro. Either we'll make it a Robusto, or just change it altogether. We're still playing with that and seeing what's best for that collection. Um, the next collection is the Highway 101, which is the Nicaraguan collection. That also has a smaller Corona that I talked about earlier. It's a
Yeah.
Corona Maduro. Um, it's a Nicaraguan Puro. Then we have the two box presses, which is the Maduro and the Habano. Again, the Habano is a Habano 2000. Everything else is Nicaraguan inside. And the Maduro is also San Andreas Maduro. Everything else is also totally Nicaraguan side. And then I have a Connecticut, Ecuadorian Connecticut, which I'm going to change the size on that one to a Toro. Toro cigar is really, really good. The actual Corona was a 46 by 6. Really, really peppery cigar. Actually, that was the strongest cigar out of the whole collection. Was the Corona, was the Connecticut when I did it on purpose that way. And then we have the Bahique, the 56 by 6.5 Black Bear. Um, and that whole collection is dedicated to my childhood. That's why it's the Highway 101 collection. So every little thing in that collection reminds me of something of my childhood. Um, so which is a cool thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's those are good cigars. Like now I'm smoking on the Maduro box press. I kind of it's one of my favorites. I actually like the Maduro, the Habano better, but I like this one because it puts me in a chill mood.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
yeah.
Now you got a lot of skews there from what you were describing. Like you took us through everything, and it's.
Hmm.
Is there any retailers out there like who stock everything, or or do you just do they
Yeah,
just try a couple different ones and kind of see what works for them?
I can say Vintage Cigar out in Philly. They carry everything I got, and they sell it out like hotcakes. Matter of fact, their order to replenish them is gone. We have two shops here in Charlotte that was actually one that's smaller than the other, and they sticks and beans here in Concord. They sell. They have probably 8 of my SKUs, and then we have Teller Smoke, which is the flagship here in Charlotte.
Uncle P.
So they have,
That's what
yeah,
I
I don't know
call
if
him,
they
Uncle
have,
P.
yeah, Preston. Yeah, he doesn't have all of them, but he has most of them. He doesn't have the smaller cigars, but he has most of the cigars. When I do, I let people, cater to their customers and see what they like, and then whatever works for them works for them. Soon, distribution for Luciani will be going out, and we'll get to touch a lot more stores and see what people like. You know,
Yeah,
and again, it's a small brand, so people tend to like always go to what they like or are used to, and a lot of times we can go head to head with a lot of those brands, and for I don't want to say a more value, it's just the cigars are different from your regular volume cigars.
yeah,
Volume cigars sometimes lose some flavor in the back end, which we try not to do.
yeah,
Try no, we don't. So we got flavor all the way to the back, and you can attest to that because
yeah,
you
yeah. Because
smoked a couple.
I smoke
Yeah.
whatever. I should have bought like twice as much. I should have just took my budget and spent it on Carolina Blue because I fuck with it. So
Yeah. So
for
and
sure.
people kind of when they look at it like and then I hand them out, and then next thing you got some of this, you got some of that. I'm like, hey, you know where to get them from. And
Yeah.
I'm just being modest with it or humble
See,
with it.
see,
I'm like,
you have to be careful because there's a lot of users out there. Like, that's why I try to support. You know what I'm saying? I never ask for
right.
nothing. Like, if somebody hands me something or whatever, it's just because they decided to do it, not because I'm over here dry begging. Because there's a lot of dry beggars out
No,
there.
that's the first I heard about the dry burger thing. You're the first one
Yeah,
who's ever said that. But yeah, there's some out there. Everybody wants something for free, but my thing is you don't appreciate something that's handed to you for free.
yeah,
You usually, and I give cigars away, and some of the people I do send cigars to, they give a nice little, review. I feel as though it's genuine. Um, and if they don't like it, they don't like it. But a lot of times, I get more of people that like it than people that don't like it.
yeah,
And and I have some friends that I try all my new cigars on, and I get their feedback, and a lot of times before I just come out with a cigar, I'll go to some events and I'll just hand them out as event cigars and just see what the feedback is on that aspect, and we go from there. Or sometimes with the cores that we have, I'm like, nah, this is going in there, this one is going in there, and just from the feedback, if you buy, sample packs from me, a lot of times I'll stick something in there that's not released, and see what people think about it and go from there. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And sometimes with with the event cigars, event only cigars, it's good leverage. You know what I'm saying? You want people to buy boxes,
right,
or sometimes for an event you'll have like a buy five get this many deal type thing. So it's good
right,
to do that. It encourages people to buy more and everything. So
correct, correct.
now, are you guys more regional, or are you guys scattered across the country now? Like,
Yeah,
how far
yeah.
is your reach at this point?
We in San Diego all the way up to New York, so we're all across the country. We haven't really gotten into the middle of the country yet. That's on the plan. This COVID kind of slowed that down a little bit. Of course, we got customers all over the place. So in the next 12 months, you're gonna see us everywhere: Texas, Indiana, Ohio, you know, just everywhere. It's gonna be a slow walk though. I'm not trying to run all over the place
Oh yeah.
and try to be at 100 stores within 6 months. It's just a slow walk because we got two major events coming up. Yeah, we got some out in Seattle too. I forgot about that.
Oh, Seattle, man.
Washington
See,
State. Yeah,
My dad lives out there, and the thing about Seattle, it's rough to be a cigar smoker, like within the city of Seattle. But there's a real cigar culture out there, and
that is
unfortunately, one of the places that I went to in Linwood, I found out recently that they had closed down or whatever. But if you want to, you know, smoke inside, you have to go like into Fife or outside of the
right,
city of Seattle. So
right.
if you go out there, man, you got to hit up Smoky Joe's and Fire Thunderbird, and
Okay,
I
okay.
haven't been to Thunderbird, but Smoky Joe's. Whenever I go out there, I try. It's been a couple years since I've been out there, but my dad moved a little further north, but it's like south of Seattle. It's a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
drive on I-5, but it's really nice. They got Rain City Cigars, but they have a bus out there, because you can't smoke inside. It's within the city, so you could smoke outside, and they have like a bus, that you could smoke in outside. So
Ah,
I
gotcha,
went to an
gotcha.
event, and it's like it was rainy and cold out there, and I freaking sat in the bus, and they didn't even need to have it on. Like it's ventilated, and it's really cool. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we out even out in Wyoming too. That was like amazing. I went out there and did an event out there with those guys. It was like, it was crazy. I went out there. What was crazy about it was what's the city? I forget the city that's out in Wyoming, but all the hotels are booked. I'm like, what the fuck's going on out here? That's everybody's like here. And what I found out, everybody was moving to that area.
ah,
And so everything was booked. I had checked some hotels and they had a couple rooms for like $700. It's like, ain't no fucking way I'm gonna pay $700 to stay a night in Wyoming.
yeah,
But it was cool. The fellas want to put me up for the night. I kind of left early in the morning, so it wasn't a big deal. We was up all night. The lounge that went to was like awesome. I actually did a live on my Instagram. You can see it. It's awesome, awesome lounge. I need to actually reach out to those guys. Thinking of since I brought them up. But yeah, we're in some crazy places. We had accounts in Dubai, stuff like that, which was awesome. Yeah, I have to reestablish that. It was just crazy because of COVID.
yeah.
We had some other international accounts, but just a lot of things kind of COVID killed some things, but I kind of kept the relationships up. One of the other accounts is Casa del Monte Cristo. We got to get that back on because I had a huge, huge following with those guys.
Sure, that's big, man.
Uh,
Casa de Monte Cristo.
yeah, it
That's
was big,
major.
big. Yeah, that was. I still get a lot of love from North Carolina the shops here in Carolina. So that's something that's on the docket for 2022, as well as doing both the cigar shows in Vegas and some of the cigar weeks. We'll do Charlotte Cigar Week. We'll do Philly Cigar Week, and we'll do Houston Cigar Week too. I don't really do a lot of those. It's just it takes a lot out of me to do those. Definitely going to go back down to Tampa again when that comes back up. I keep looking for the dates so I can go ahead and get my spot back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and just stuff like that, and some stuff in the middle. Cut lights, of course. We want to do something out in California with Liberty Tobacco. or my man Leo out there in San Diego, and we got some other stuff on the docket. Atlanta's up the road. You know, I'm slowly getting into some Florida stores, which is cool. Just got at the Cheney's down in Tampa, and an Oxford Cigar Company down there in Orlando, and a couple others that we have there. So which is cool. So it's like slow. I'm very
Oh yeah,
methodic about what I'm doing. I'm not trying to rush out every weekend and try to visit 20 stores
yeah,
because it takes a lot of time. Your
yeah,
customers, I let the customers do all the all the
yeah,
sales pitches for me because that's who's buying it.
yeah.
So it seems to be
I mean, if
working.
you got 20 people, at a shop and they're asking like, where's this, and then they got to pay attention,
Right,
Like
right,
it's with like at my shop, we don't have that much space, but like if a bunch of people are asking about something, then of course my boss will pay attention and
right,
move that to the top of the list. There's like so many
right,
brands that he has on his list, and then other. It's like a huge. I can't even name it all. It's just like a freaking long CVS receipt list
right,
of
right.
brands. That hopefully maybe we'll get in there one day. But it's all about potential. But
Yeah, and the customers want different stuff. They can go anywhere and find a Monte Cristo. They can go anywhere and follow LFD. They can
yeah,
go anywhere and follow these mainstreams. Like when you have, not saying you got to buy Carolina Blue, but when you go to like and find your black label trading companies or these other smaller brands, or like they're not small anymore, but the mid level brands
yeah.
that are
Black
really
label's got
outside of
to be like a
boutique.
mid level at this point. Same with
Yeah,
Southern Draw.
correct. Stuff like that. Where you can't really find it. Dapper is another company that you can't really find, but they're in strategic locations, and even Warped. There's not everywhere, but
Yeah.
people are different. The
We
smokers are
sell warped. We're
different.
the only shop that sells warped in Brevard County. We got the Hacienda, we got the
Okay,
1989 or whatever that one, and then the Chinchali. Because somebody
yeah,
was asking for it, we had to bring a certain amount in, and they're selling okay. It's not the greatest
yeah,
seller in the humidor, but
right,
it's
right,
it's
right.
definitely a good cigar though, and it moves well enough to where we may not have to, we've had
I
to
have
put
this.
like a couple boxes out or whatever, but it's not a fast mover, but it's moving well enough where it's got its spot for right now.
I have to smoke that one again. It didn't move me the first time, but
Yeah, the
maybe it was
Chinchali
because
I
it
was not a
was
fan of, but then again, I smoked the sample because I came in on my day off, and then my boss's sister she was there. She was like, "Hey, the left stick," because I was about to just put one on my tab, and she was like, "I'll
right,
just take one of the samples." I bet. Don't mind if I do. I'm off of work. I'm
right.
still gonna partake of the sample. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you were featured in Tobacco Business Magazine. What was the feedback like due to the exposure with them? Like, how did that situation come about?
That was cool because really, the editor is here. He's in North Carolina. He's in Durham. And we kind of, he was reaching out. I was, very humbled to do that interview. Because I'm like a, kind of fan of that magazine. And then, being that I was going to TPE and that's who, they kind of work with at TPE, kind of worked all together. So it was some good exposure. Um, Could I say, and that's another thing that I have to work on this year is when we do give exposure to different people, like we have um, Black Fly on the Wall. He does a podcast out here in North Carolina. We have the Black Box Cigar Company. He's a person, so it's like I have to start monitoring those on an analytical sense, where I have to give them a code and see how the business going. Like I had a like two that I can say off the top of my head that really did well was I get on like a Herf with an Oxford Cigar Company, and after I did their first one, I got a lot of orders in from them. Also with ooh Ashton, ooh God,
Ashton Barrel.
no, is it Ashton Ash Burners? I'm sorry if I messed it up. I can't
Not
mess
because
them guys up because they
yeah,
because they
I
because they
mean Ashton
support the
Barrel.
shit
They
out of
show
me.
Yeah, Ash and Barrel,
Yeah,
they put my Instagram flyer in their story and was telling
right.
people, so I figured that might be the one.
Yeah, Ash and Barrel. Ash and Barrel. I'm sorry, Ash. I'm sorry, Ash. No, it's Ash. Ash Holes. No, it's not Ash and Barrel.
Oh, the Asshole
Ash
Cigar Club.
Holes.
Asshole Cigar Club.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So many ashes and stuff. Yeah, those guys, man. I was actually in DR when I did that interview with them. Not interview, but we did a podcast or a Zoom. It was cool. We stood up probably about 3 hours, 2 hours talking about that. That was real cool. I did it with another group too, Barrel Burners. I did it with them. And yeah, so stuff like that. I need to start doing analytical, things with them to find out how things are moving with different companies and find
Yeah.
out where people are buying from. And that's something that makes a lot of sense. Especially, now with distribution, I have to really see where I've been to see who's buying and
Oh
see
yeah.
where it's going at.
I'm a numbers guy too. Like I'm
Yeah.
constantly like every month I just see, 'cause that's part of the reason why I stopped broadcasting both to Facebook and YouTube because I want to
Right,
I need to get my YouTube up. So it's
right,
like,
right, right,
so I mean, a lot of people catch, we got it says there's 4 people watching now, but like after this show, people will, the numbers always
yeah,
rise over the
yeah.
next
Peak
couple
up.
days. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm always watching that because like this next year, like I've already when I was in Tampa, like I realized I didn't even have to introduce myself. Every time I went to a booth, they knew who I was, so that was a good sign. And so now I got to, I'm working on my numbers online because, and the engagements and everything,
Right,
because that's what counts. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also when I go to, big events and stuff, like, you want to hear that feedback because sometimes it's on social media and all that. I mean, with you, it's a little different because it's, people are ordering and stuff like that. And that's, they're spending their hard earned money or whatever. With this, it's just like, okay, who's really paying attention type thing. And it's the same
right.
thing with you. Who's really paying attention? You want to know that information because it's important to where, so you can gauge on, how well you're doing and everything. So,
Yeah, that's kind of how it was when I did the interview with with Rob, Bovida Rob. That was awesome.
yeah, that was an awesome
Um,
interview because
yeah.
that's part of my research. I watched the whole interview. Because I watched How About That Cigar,
Yeah,
interview,
those
most
guys
of
too.
it,
Yeah, yeah,
because I had to
yeah.
make sure, I'm not asking the same questions. Some stuff might have intertwined, but because you got to
Of
ask
course,
it. But I
of
try to be
course.
different. That's
Right,
what Hearthstone Live is all about. Like I'm all about. It's a natural conversation. Yeah, I have notes, but like half the time I didn't even use the notes tonight. I'm just like,
right, right.
it keeps me on track, mentally, so I'm not like, like what am I gonna say next? But
Yeah, and a lot of stuff. If you catch us, we haven't done a show in a minute. We're kind of taking a break, but you catch us behind the brand, on Saturdays. A lot of stuff is, they catch me kind of raw. On that show we do with Leo, and we get down with that at Maisha. We do that on Saturdays, and talk about a whole bunch of different things, have different guests on. So a lot of times people that catch me, I don't want to say out of character. I'm the same person all the time, but I'll just be a little bit
yeah,
more out of the ordinary because it's kind of my own setting. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So,
Well, I mean that's my show. Like I tell people, just you could be as raw as you want, like whatever. Like, thank God I haven't had anybody say anything that caused any backlash. Because before I started my own platform, I was a part of Stogie Press,
oh,
and
okay,
I
okay,
got myself in trouble by I'll tell you the situation after the show. Just if you hear about it, but I won't go into it on
right,
here because those who know type of thing. But you know you know, you could be wrong. Okay, you just have to make sure you're not to the point where you'll piss people off, like
right,
to where they know where you're coming from. So
right, right, right.
now, have there been any other brand owners, big or small, that have offered good advice since you've been in business, and have they just been really like? Or have some been really helpful, or do you feel like being the new guy, you were left to make your mark and your name without that outside influence?
It was weird. I guess I came right in right before the the boutique boom. At one time
Yeah,
it was not many coming out. Then all of a sudden I look up and there's 100 more.
yeah,
So, but I when I started, I ran into Sean. actually here in Charlotte. I ran into him here, and he kind of heard about us and saw what we were doing. He's like, yeah, just just keep it slow.
Sean
Whenever we,
Williams, right?
yeah,
Okay, I remember
FMW,
from previous interviews doing my research. Just want to make sure we
yeah,
clarify. Good guy.
yeah,
One of
Sean,
my
yep,
favorite
great
guys
guy.
out there.
And Dean, whenever I can catch him, I know he's busy. He's one of the guys. Kind of because our stories are kind of similar in what we were, kind of how we were moving through the business. It was to a point where you like, shit, should I give up this? Because he kind of outgrew his factory too. Um, and then he had to, move to another one, and then he's doing some great shit right now, which is awesome as hell. But yeah, those are my dudes, Sean and Dean, and yeah, my other member has showed up in the lounge, because we're like an exclusive lounge. We only got two members, two members.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Uh,
dope. I mean,
yeah.
you got some good guys that have, shown support and love and everything. So that's what's up.
Mhm.
Da-da-da. And so, are you a spirits guy? If so, what are some of your favorite things to drink while enjoying a cigar?
I like rum, man. I'm a rum guy. Um, you can unplug it, man. You can unplug it. Uh, I, 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 I'm a rum guy, one, because I go to DR all the time, and ever since I started going over there, when I first started going over there, I started drinking like Bregal. I still like Bregal a lot, but then I ran into some other brands like Oliver, that I started picking up on, and I would bring bottles back, and then me and my man David would sit out and just drink it all. And then somebody mentioned Diplomatico one time. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And then I tried it. I'm like, oh shit, we actually got toe up one night outside drinking. We almost drank the whole damn bottle because it was so light, but it worked with all the cigars.
Yeah.
So I was drinking a little bourbon here and there. I would do some Eagle Rare stuff. Some Four Roses here and there. I'm not really a whiskey guy, so to speak. Not definitely not a Scotch guy, but I've had some Scotch. Matter of fact, again, me and Damon drank some Scotch couple months ago, and that was pretty good. But yeah, I dibble and dabble mostly on rum and stuff like that. Yeah, that's my go-to stuff.
Nice. Yeah, see, I'm not a I mean, I don't have like one exclusive thing. I like scotch, I like rum. I don't have you ever had bamboo? That's one of my favorite rums.
Yeah,
Like I drink that
yeah,
like straight. Like that thing is
yeah. I
I
have
mean, it
some.
makes a good rum and coke too, but if I'm gonna have, it's nice and it's got some sweetness to it, goes great with a cigar, like
Right.
that thing is heaven right there. Actually, once my friend brought a bottle over a couple years ago for the 4th of July, and even my grandma was drinking it.
Yeah, yeah. But man, Leo, he does a lot of pairings, and he kind of has helped people enjoy Carolina Blue, again with the experience of the with the rum, and with anything, with the rum, with the whiskey, with the bourbon, coffee, you know just soda, like a Dr. Pepper mostly, or even like ginger beer soda, stuff like that. Yeah, he's tremendous of helping people like really, really pair cigars. Even he's done a couple with beer, with craft beers that go pretty good, because every beer doesn't go good with a cigar. Matter of fact, hardly any.
Yeah,
But some stouts was going good with some of the cigars that I had. But yeah, that's something. And I'm not a heavy drinker. Like, I got so many bottles up there in the house that it's just like, I was telling somebody, like, man, y'all gonna wind up pouring this shit out whenever I bite the dust, y'all gonna have to drink this shit up. So so unless I have a party or something, and it's like, all right, everybody, let's go for it. Like my man Saran from Spades, when he comes over,
yeah,
I got some tequilas and stuff. He'll come over when he visits, and we'll drink some stuff up. But yeah,
yeah. He'll be
you
he'll
know,
be on this. He'll be on the show after Christmas. A couple of
okay,
days after
okay, okay.
Christmas. So yeah, man, I had to get the rest of the year and into January booked, man, because my cousin passed away. I had a couple of people in my family passed away, and I took a little
Right.
hiatus, and then I started getting lazy, and I'm like, okay, there's a difference between having a hiatus and then getting starting to get lazy. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know,
Sometimes you got
I
to
had,
take a break, man, and I do the same. Sometimes I go, you got to go into what they say, hibernation. I
yep,
don't really go to lounges a lot, even though, I know a lot of people in Charlotte, but I tend not to go to the lounges often. I'll drop in and say hi, make sure everything is supplies are good and, support when they have events. I try to support everybody local. I'm a big supporter of that when I can. And, you know, it's just how it is. You got to kind of show your face. You don't have to be there all night, but,
hmm
just show support. Even when I'm near a city somewhere and one of the boutique brands are having an event, if it's not too far, I'll go out and support that. Just because that's who we are. That's how it is. I try to tell people all the time. When you're in, when I'm in DR, man, everybody at night we all get together. We have something, at least once a week when all the brand owners are together, smoking, trying each other's stuff, and it's just like it's like family. And I appreciate that. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to go over and really see what's going on at factories, what's going on after hours, just to see the hard work people put into the industry. A lot of times, I can't say where they're getting it from. I can't say what they're doing, but just from my experiences, that's where it's at. When I talk to the factory, it's not always about cigars. It's about how everybody's doing. Do you need anything? And because these are the guys who's making Carolina Blue possible um, for what's going on now, and I appreciate that. If I just stopped doing cigars tomorrow, I would still find a way to support the factory in some kind of way,
oh
form, or
yeah,
fashion. So,
absolutely, man. That's all you can do, man. So,
yeah.
what does the next year look like for Carolina Blue Cigars? Are there plans for expansion, or are you just focusing on one area to grow in and keep the growth slow?
Um, it's gonna be slow. I'm really pushing towards TPE to kind of set that growth pattern off. PCA would probably springboard us because I'm hoping to have a couple of new cigars out by then. Hopefully the collaboration that I hope that is that I want to do will be ready by then. And just let the consumers kind of set the tone where we want to go. Like I tell anybody, yeah, I'll travel to come and see you. If you support me in a nice way, yes, definitely. I'll hop a plane in a minute and come down and do cut and light. Even if I have to do it up and back, I'll come to do it. So I don't have a problem with that. It's a slow walk, man. I have a son. He's 22. Or he'll be 22. He's in the business a little bit. He likes what I do. It's kind of showing him what I want to do, and then we go from there. So it's and it's just about just making the brand stronger than it is. And sometimes you gotta strengthen the foundation. A lot of people run out there with what they have and just go crazy, and then you get to a point where they can't do it anymore. So I'm just trying to build the foundation of what I have as far as cigars and stuff like that. So that's what 22 is looking like. People will see us a lot more out there on a I want to say a monthly basis, maybe a quarterly basis. But yeah, New York. I was in New York this past weekend. I was talking to my man at Maduro's, and I said I got to get back to New York because that's my stomp. That's my grounds right there. Get back to there because they support me a lot in New York. And I would love to do a huge event in New York. That's something that I always wanted to do, whether it be a private event, whether it be a boat smoking event. I just want to do something nice for New York for springboarding the success of Carolina Blue. It's crazy to have to go to New York to do that, but even here we got plans. I'm starting to do different things here in Charlotte. We kicked off the first Latin night event here a couple of months ago. I want to do another one of those. I want to do something for the veterans in a couple of months, of course. Charlotte Cigar Week is coming. We're gonna do something extra special for that. Um, anything I do with a an event, I try to bring something extra, whether it be a cigar, whether it be something that people don't know about. I try to always come with something different, just the experience. Houston Cigar Week, we're gonna have something special for them as well, Philly as well. And that's just me. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna give you something extra. Anybody can go set up some damn cigar boxes and sell them and give you
Yep.
a 5 for 2 or 3 for 1 or however. But I'm gonna give you something extra with it,
Yep.
and and that's how we do.
I got another layer out of it.
There you go. Yeah. That's something a lot of people when they get my box or delivery, they say, "Damn, you gave me all this." I'm like, "Yeah, this is what I want you to do. I want you to advertise for me. That's
Yep.
my way. You give you a lighter, give you a patch, give you extra cigar that nobody has, something like that." So a lot of the customers are very appreciative. I got a lot of repeat customers that buy a lot of cigars from me, and I'm thankful for that. Extremely happy that that's working for me. So,
Nice, man. So this will conclude this show because we know you don't want to be here for hours and bore people
right,
or
right.
whatever,
Yeah, yeah. I
man.
appreciate it. I appreciate a quick show.
Oh yeah, I try to keep it around an hour, maybe a little bit more, but when that vibe is there, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Right,
just
right,
try to,
right,
keep it, authentic. That's what my show is about, I try not to make it so scripted to where we can't have fun with it. So
right, right.
yeah, so everybody that tuned in tonight, thank you guys for tuning in. Chris, I appreciate you for coming on the show
Oh
tonight. Where
yeah.
tell everybody where they can reach out to you and everything.
Yeah, man, you can catch me on all social media, CarolinaBlueCigars.com. You want to order, shop CarolinaBlueCigars.com. For the most part, it's a lot of the sample packs are online. I kind of cut off the box sales because they go into distribution. If you see something that you want to try or you like something that you've got before, definitely send me a DM or send me an email. I'll definitely get back with you and fulfill what your needs are. So and that's just how we do, man. Check out like my man Leo just flashed it across for the new year. It'll be behind the leaf next year, 2022. We're gonna do some big things. Um, Along with whatever comes along. It's just like I said, it's gonna be a slow, nice run for us. I have to say, shout out to my team, um, Heather and T. My behind the scenes person, Janae, my road dog, Damon, and definitely Leo for all the input. The factory Caesar and all those guys. I'll see you guys next week. But yeah, thanks for all the support, man. I haven't really said thanks for the customers out there, and I will keep giving you guys great cigars. And by all means, if you want us to come to your shop, hit me up. And if we can work it out, I'll definitely be there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys once again for tuning in to Hearthstone Live. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. We're on every Tuesday at 7:30, and I'll let you know when we're not live and we can talk that real shit.